Hello and welcome to ET Now Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Chandra Shrikant coming to you live from India's startup capital, Bengaluru. And we have a power-packed show today, of course, where e-commerce is really dominating the theme, with Flipkart announcing its Big Billion Day sale dates. We have a special interview with Amazon India, and Alibaba is also ramping up its B2B play here. Krishna.
Absolutely, and we've got all the action coming to you from Our Ventures, is a startup platform for startups. This is Krishna Kumar coming to you live from 18 Hours Mumbai studios. First up, a quick check on all that's making headlines over here. Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba is ramping up its B2B presence in India through a slew of partnerships. Alibaba.com has inked agreements with a clutch of big names to encourage SMEs in the country. Amazon India is gearing up to make a splash this festive season after having recently secured a commitment of $3 billion from its founder Jeff Bezos. Amazon has launched a slew of initiatives for its sellers and is hoping the increased product range will set them apart from the rest. An exclusive chat with Gopal Pillai, Director of Seller Services at Amazon, coming up on the show. And of course, all the action from IIT Powai in Mumbai, where Our Ventures hosted the inaugural edition of Star Up, a platform that puts the spotlight on over 250 startups.
And Krishna, let's take it to our top story then, where Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba is really ramping up its B2B presence in India through its wholesale trading platform Alibaba.com. It's really entered into a slew of partnerships with the likes of Kotak Mahindra Bank, IDFC Bank, and also Delhivery and DHL to really help small and medium enterprises do their businesses in an easier fashion. This is, of course, part of their plans to really go after the SME segment in India. Now, remember, this is coming at a time when there's been intense speculation about what Alibaba is going to do as far as the B2C play is concerned. Remember, they have investments in Snapdeal, in Paytm, but, will they acquire a company? Will they go organic? Those are some of the larger questions here, but to really give us more perspective on Alibaba's India game plan, we have Harminder Sahni joining us all the way from Gurgaon. Harminder Sahni from Wazir Advisors, someone who tracks this space very closely. Thank you for joining us live on ET Now Startup Central. Just want to get your own thoughts on, the big B2B splash that Alibaba has made today. Does it have a larger significance, and what do you really read into the slew of partnerships that they've entered into?
See, I believe B2B opportunity, and that too focused on SME, is a very, very large opportunity in India, because if you look at the spectrum of consumer products and retail, we don't have too many large players here, or not too many large brands here, or not too many large suppliers in the market. What you have is very, very large number of small and medium companies which I would say can benefit from the organization of retail and front end, whether it's happening through technology or whether it's happening to the offline infrastructure like malls and retail stores. So I think that's a very, very large opportunity, and even in the offline world we have seen that how Walmart is making big investments into their B2B business, wholesale business which they're making in. So I think Alibaba is definitely on the right path, and they have got their fingers in the other side of the pie as well, by investment into Snapdeal and Paytm. And I think they are making the right moves, because I for one believe that India is not the market where we should be looking at one winner takes it all very soon happening. Maybe in the long term it may happen, I'm still not betting on that, but at this point of time idea should be there should be many more players, and the people who are very serious about it, they should have a finger in various corners of the same pie, and that's what Alibaba seems to be doing, and it's a good move.
All right, Harminder, this is Krishna coming to you from 18 Hours Mumbai studios. I want to ask you the big question as we are headlining this as our top story. Do you see Alibaba approaching B2C, in a similar fashion? That's the big question, by deepening ties with existing investments, say through Paytm or a Snapdeal.
See, given the restriction which we have on the investments into B2C space, I think this is probably they are hedging their bets by playing the game on all the fronts and they will press the pedal, they will push wherever, let's say, the policies change or the rules change, or wherever they see more success. So that's why I said that it's a great strategy to have your bets on all fronts and press the pedal whichever moves very fast. So if B2C opens up and the policies are much clearer, we are waiting for that one single comprehensive policy to come into play. So I'm sure they will be watching that very carefully and do that. But even if B2C is the place where everybody wants to be, I believe in a market like India, B2B is equally significant. So it will not be either B2B or B2C you have to do. I think both of these can offer very, very large opportunities for a player like Alibaba, which knows both these games very well from their home market.
Harminder, finally, before we let you go, Flipkart announced its Big Billion Day dates just a couple of hours back, October 2nd to October 6th. Snapdeal is expected to announce it tomorrow. Amazon also, will be around the same time. How is it going to be different this time around, the whole, festive sales compared to previous years? Or, are we going to see some rationalization taken with respect to prices, with respect to discounts? And how crucial is it really going to be? Is it going to be a make or break here in that sense for the likes of Flipkart and Snapdeal?
See, I would not like to believe that it's a make or break for anybody. It's just one festive season. Yes, it's the biggest time for grabbing as much sale as you can. In terms of the difference, my belief is these brands are obviously coming out very strongly on online players. They have been doing that for last 1 year or so, that they cannot offer prices lower than their offline channels, because most of the brands, their majority of their sales still comes from offline world. So they would not allow that. Earlier there were a lot of discounts, unfair pricing which was going on. So online players were able to grab market share from the offline. So today, this festival season, I think the big difference is going to be price is not going to be the big differentiator. So what is going to be a big differentiator? It's going to be your wide range and how conveniently people can shop and how quickly they can get the deliveries, and there are no goof-ups which happen technically or otherwise. That's going to make the big difference. And I maintain that this season will be the season in which if anybody loses market share, that player will go downhill from there on. That's how it's going to be. So the biggest achievement for any player whoever is in the market coming out of this festive season will have they been able to maintain their market share whatever they had before the festive season started. And when they will lose the share, whosoever loses the share, please make a note on that it won't be that they will lose it only to other online players. Offline world is also geared up quite well. Consumers, if they are not getting very exciting discount and huge promotions, they can very well go back to offline. So there are two things we have to watch: whether online put together is going to lose market share, and within that are any players who are going to lose market share than the overall loss together. If online is able to maintain their share together overall, as well as the players within that who are able to maintain their share, I think it will be a big achievement this season.
All right, Harminder Sahni of Wazir Advisors, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on 18 Hours Startup Central to put Alibaba's B2B play in India into perspective. Thank you so much. But keeping it with all the festive season
Krishna.
talk
Thanks for having me.
Here on the show, Amazon India, which did recently secure a commitment of $3 billion from its founder Jeff Bezos, is certainly gearing up to make a splash this festive season with an aim to be India's largest marketplace. Amazon, which launched a slew of initiatives for its sellers, is hoping the increased product range will set them apart from all the rest. We have Gopal Pillai, Director of Seller Services at Amazon India, speaking exclusively to 18 Hours Rahul Dayama about the preparations for Diwali sales. Take a look.
We are very excited to have 120,000 such SMEs across the country being part of this marketplace. What is even more interesting is around 20,000 sellers have joined Amazon platform in the last 5 to 6 weeks. That has been incredible. And they were able to add about 80 million products in our site so far. And that's the largest marketplace in India. And just to give the context, we are adding about 150,000 products every single day.
Also give us a sense in terms of how big really is this the festive season for Amazon in terms of the growth that you saw last time.
Yeah. So just to give the context, 2015 Q4, mainly powered by Diwali, was bigger than all 4 quarters combined in 2014. So you can see the scale and the scope of the Q4 powered by festive season. And from a SMB's perspective, it's really fantastic to see some of these numbers. For example, as I mentioned, one seller sold 35,000 watches in just 5 days, and another seller sold hundreds of solar powered diyas within minutes of the deal going live. There is also interesting, during festive season, there is also a lot of demand for sweets and other things. So one seller from Bombay sold a lot of organic gourmet products. For example, dried fruits or chocolate-covered milk sweets and things like that. He was like seeing an unprecedented growth between those 30 days before Diwali. So it's been fantastic.
You had a whole bunch of seller initiatives, be it Amazon, Chai Cart, or the Tatkal. How much of this really helped you to beef up your seller presence in terms of adding that value? Because you went around various smaller cities interacting with sellers. So how many sellers were added on post this campaign that you launched?
Yeah, so it's Amazon Tatkal played a very crucial role in creating awareness among sellers, because what is happening is people thought getting online is difficult, tedious and time consuming. What we were able to prove through Amazon Tatkal is you can get online within 60 minutes. That's incredible, and people are getting sales every next day onwards. And so far through Tatkal, we have covered more than 50 cities and traveled more than 37,000 kilometers. And because of these efforts, Amazon has become the number one place from a top-of-the-mind awareness perspective among potential sellers, as well as this is the number one recommended site by the sellers. And this has been a crucial effort in getting the sellers, and we are very pleased with the outcome.
Okay. Also, closer to this festive season, you're launching the seller hubs, the seller cafe, so to say. What really led to this sort of an idea, and where does it really go from here?
Yeah, so we are very happy to announce Seller Cafe in 24 cities across country, anywhere from Agra to Aurangabad to Meerut to Kanpur, Madurai. Across the country, we are launching about 24 seller cafes just in time for the festive season. And sellers can, if they are an existing sellers, they can walk in and learn more about how do they continue to grow using FBA or sponsored products or Easy Ship, all of the seller-sensitive India-first initiatives.
Now, even as Amazon seller head Krishna has outlined a series of initiatives, Flipkart has gone ahead and announced the dates for its much anticipated Big Billion Day sales, which is, of course, its sales for the festive season. So Flipkart is going to kick this off on October 2nd, and it will go on for 4 days till October 6th. As part of this, they have lined up products across 80 categories, discounts, a lot of other offers in terms of product exchange, and also no-cost EMI. It's going to be a power-packed, a very competitive festive season, because as Harminder Sahni said, people are going to watch, which player loses market share, gains market share, because regaining it after that is going to be a bit of a challenge. So we'll really have to see between Flipkart, Snapdeal, Amazon, who's going to come up trumps. And remember, we are not even talking about the offline players here who are also gearing up for the festive season. But with that, we really come to the end of the e-commerce segment here on Startup Central, and we are getting you all the special coverage from an event that Krishna attended over the weekend. We are talking about Our Ventures, which had its Startup Summit in Mumbai, and Krishna really brings us a roundup of what he saw there and the mood really as far as startups were concerned.
It is indeed the first edition of Our Ventures, this startup that's taking place right here at IIT Powai in Mumbai. Lots of startups, lots of excitement across the board. 250 startups are participating in it, making their pitch, and they will be making their pitch to 250 investors as well, who are part of different juries over here to help startups understand what kind of a direction that they need to take with their idea, with their concept. No funding, but the idea is to enable startups to pitch better. 4 kinds the startups are in focus: ad tech or advertising technology, emerging technology, fintech, and health tech. These four are the hot sectors that this startup, the inaugural edition of Startup, is focusing on. It is intended to be a biannual event going forward. As you can see behind me, different kinds of startups. You have something called as the Culture Mart over here. You have, as I was talking about, health tech, so click to clinic healthcare over here, and you've got so many different kinds of startups. A lot of excitement over here, but the intention is not about funding, but the intention is to enable startups, small startups and entrepreneurs understand how to develop their business. We've even got legal consultants over here to help startups understand the legal and regulatory environment that they're operating in. So the inaugural edition of our ventures is Startup, and the idea is to make stars out of some of these startups.
Well, that was quite a working Saturday for me, Chandra. In fact, at this inaugural edition of Startup, I caught up with the man Harshad Lahotia, who is the co-founder and CEO of our ventures, which did host the inaugural edition of Startup, to understand better what this whole platform is all about, and more importantly, what exactly is the investment strategy as far as our ventures is concerned. Take a look.
The idea around Startup was born around 6 months ago. We thought to ourselves that there isn't a summit that does real justice to entrepreneurs and what they want to say. So the focus around Startup is that we are converting startups into startups. So we are giving them the stardom that they deserve. And the way we are doing it is by being very focused about which sectors we want to take in the limelight, which are the hot sectors as of today. So they're not pitching here, they're not looking to raise money, but they still deserve to be put in the limelight. So they get their 2 minutes of fame at Startup here. So Startup is all about, so it is startup without the T, right? So T off, we call it T off. You lose the T and become a star. Okay. So that's the idea.
So what about our ventures per se? Where is our ventures looking to invest? I'm asking this question because, you're talking about a time when e-commerce giants are facing markdowns. Yeah. You have hyper-local companies shutting down operations, funding tap drying up, not angel funding, but the Series B, Series C round of funding drying up.
I think you've answered my question yourself. So angel funding is not drying up. You just said that. Yeah. And that's what our focus is. So 3 clear bucket. I invest $50,000 to $150,000 in the seed level. I invest $250,000 to $500,000 in the angel level. I invest $750,000 to $1 million in the VC level. So I've done $3 million deals, which is VC deals. I have done a single early stage seed deal, and most of my 23 other deals have happened in the angel level. So I'm a full spectrum, as I said. Okay. The money in this particular spectrum that I'm speaking of, which is seed and angel, has not dried up. There is a little bit of cash crunch in the VC and the PE side where you go for a larger rounds. But I think by the time in the next 18 months to a couple of years, things will move in the right direction there as well. Right. So there's no problem there.
Right. For all startups watching this show, so you know whom to call or you know where to approach as far as if you need funding is concerned. What have been your big bets? Yes, talk to us about our ventures' big bets at this point in time.
Absolutely. So we recently, the last deal we concluded was Shadi Saga. It happened last month. It is into wedding planning. So the offline part, the cumbersome part, you're putting it online, and the whole vendor management and everything happens online. So that is Shadi Saga that we've recently invested in. Before that, we invested in a couple of dating startups. So as I say, I get
dating startups. You said dating startups in India. In India, when you have a global competitor like Tinder, doing so well.
Tinder is going to get a big competition from our startup called Isle. They are Bangalore-based and are doing phenomenally well. But jokes apart, we have the $3 million deals that we have done. So one is iTraveler. We invested a year and a half ago. Doing well. They are basically your customized holiday bookings. Then we have invested $1 million in Origa Leasing. They're a leasing company, a leasing platform which are doing things online. Amazing company, doing phenomenally well. And probably one day they might turn out to become a bank in itself, because that's the way to go. And besides this, we are not in announce, but next week we are announcing a mega deal with a Bitcoin-based startup in India, because that is seeing some very interesting traction. So that is yet to get announced, and we'll surely let you know once that happens.
You know, Krishna, I really thought startup was a typo that we made, but it turns out it's really startup and not startup as far as our ventures is concerned. And we will be bringing you highlights of, a lot of interesting startups there. But I'm afraid we have time for just one today. And the startup that we have for you from our ventures is a startup called Menzo Immersify. Sounds fancy. They are a virtual reality startup that really helps you buy and sell property in a much more easier and convenient way. Krishna caught up with them. Here's what the startup does.
Virtual reality is certainly the in thing. We've seen virtual reality being used by e-commerce companies to help shoppers shop in the virtual world. But this time around, it's a startup called Menzo Immersive, which is helping the world of property and real estate by using virtual reality. For example, this is a headset by HTC, which is commercially available, but Menzo Immersive makes the software that goes into it, and this is the property on your screens that we're going to take a tour of using the technology developed by Menzo Immersive and the headset from HTC. Let's get to it then. First, I'm going to put this headset on. All right. And I need a remote control as usual, and all I have to do is just press on the remote control, and I keep going inside this property. Now the pace at which this is going, it is slow, but it's meant to be that way because any faster than this, and the makers tell me that you will be throwing up. So this is as simple as it gets. What you see in your screens is a property, and the way this property is there, all that you see around over here, the content is essentially developed by Menzo Immersive. The software is developed by Menzo Immersive, and this looks like a rather plush property. There's a fireplace over here, and there's a couch, and there is of course a massive television also over here. There's a lawn outside. I can see all of it, and I don't have to move an inch. All I have to do is turn my head around to get a proper survey of this particular property. This particular technology is meant to help real estate developers, real estate consultants, brokers, or for the matter, consumers like you and me who want to take a tour of the property but just don't have the time to travel physically to that. You can sit in any city, any place in the world and use this technology. So I'm taking the stairs as well. All of it very smooth, and there's a big balcony right on top with a lot of green trees. It is a fantastic property, I must say, but unfortunately this is a fictional property. This is just to give you an idea of how this particular technology works. And if I turn to my right, I land up at the balcony, and as you can see, it's a fabulous balcony full of green trees, and all of this is possible because of this particular technology developed. And I must say, it is rather simple, rather easy, and it's a shout out to all the developers and the consultants out there. Maybe they should get their hands on it.
Chandra, I must say that putting on that headset did make me wobbly to start with. It took me a few, two, three takes to get it right over there. But I'll tell you what, I'm house hunting as we speak, and I would love to do it that way if I were to do it in the future. But moving on here on the show, in a big step to strengthen its messenger app team, Facebook has hired former Yahoo executive Anand Chandrasekaran to help develop strategies for its Facebook Messenger app. Chandrasekaran was most recently Chief Product Officer at Snapdeal. He also was the head of the CPO position at Bharti Airtel. He has also worked with Yahoo as a Senior Director for Search Products and Mobile Products. And announcing the move in an FB post, Anand wrote, they say the best journeys bring you home. We embarked on one years ago, and it has been nothing short of incredible. I'm super excited to share that. Building on the learning and earning and experiences, I am joining Facebook to work on Facebook Messenger platform, unquote.
Giant leap there, Krishna, from being Snapdeal's Chief Product Officer to getting a global role at Facebook. I guess Indian talent is always in demand here in Silicon Valley, just about anywhere. But on that note, we come to the end of this news-packed edition of ET Now Startup Central. Thanks so much for watching, and keep it with ET Now.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.